It's difficult to imagine a moment in which you wouldn't see Tank without me or myself without Tank. In a sense that felt more like brothers than friendship, we were so close and inseparable. However, something changed, and I believe he began to feel as though he had failed me. In an inexplicable way, Tank, whose true name is Gervonta Davis, has always been someone I look up to. That's the truth. I'm not saying it to boast. He has witnessed my best side and is aware of my abilities, which is, I believe, why it was so painful for him when things didn't work out as he had hoped. He's one of the few people that truly gets my potential, particularly in this boxing game with all the cards and judges. For instance, his battle with Lamont Roach. Judge Eric Marlinsky gave Tank a score of 115 to 113, but Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both gave it 114 to 114, resulting in a majority draw. You could sense the disappointment in the air because it wasn't the resounding triumph Tank is accustomed to providing. That time, I wasn't at his training camp. I'm Adrien Broner, and I wasn't with him like I had been so many times. However, I still have a lot to say about it. Not to disparage him since Tank is my younger brother, but to express some honest, unvarnished facts. Tank had been doing this for a while, and you can feel the exhaustion settling in over time. The hungry boy who would bouncing around the ring as if he had something to prove every second is no longer him. His battle against Frank Martin last year revealed this fatigue, and it persisted into this draw with Roach. He even made the shocking announcement that he might retire back in December. It's easy to understand why. Fatherhood, aging, and the demands of the sport all have an adverse effect. Our relationship is currently in an odd state. We don't talk as much as we used to, but there's no denying that I love him and he loves me. It's difficult to see that intimacy wane. Nevertheless, I gave Tank the victory in that duel versus Roach. I believe he did enough to win it. Call it bias if you will. I don't think Lamont Roach won by a landslide, but he certainly fought smart. Tank is an unbeaten champion with power that is almost unbelievable for his size, and his career has been nothing short of amazing. He has earned the right to take a break if he is experiencing stress from time or family obligations. He has done enough to make his next move justified. However, as his brother, I would really like to see us dance in the ring once more, if only for nostalgia. However, Tank's boxing career isn't without its flaws. There have been times when he has shown that he doesn't always take things as seriously as he should. He skipped the grand entrances 8 years ago, before to his bout with Francisco Fonseca, the co-main event on the Floyd Mayweather-Conor McGregor card, which was the second highest-grossing fight night ever. It was a portent of future events. He repeated the feat when he headlined against Frank Martin last year. He didn't even make weight against Fonseca. On paper, the mistakes don't seem like much, but they mount up. He believed he would still win, possibly by split decision, when the results of the Roach bout showed that he had lost 114 to 114 to 2 judges. He remarked, "I damn sure thought I had it." But he was struck severely by that draw. The legal issues come next. Tank was sentenced to 3 years of probation in May 2023, including 44 days in jail for breaking the terms of his house detention. He is combating not only battles within the ring but also those that take place outside of it. However, he has a gift, a powerful punching ability that is uncommon for a man his size and weight. After considering retirement, he is now at a turning point in his life. Does he work hard, persevere, and remain not only a champion but also one of the top names in the sport? Before a Roach rematch, he has alluded to another bout, but he needs that rematch, and he needs to dominate, if he is to maintain his position as America's best fighter. Many believe Roach was defrauded in that draw. Since March 5th, Roach Jr. has been vociferous on X, and his team is already appealing. He wrote, "You're adjusting if you believe Buddy was off or had a bad night. With me, that stuff is simply different. I told you from the beginning, you're behaving as like I said he was easy work or something because I feel like I won. He's working hard to turn the tide in his favor with a 9th-round moment. A knee Tank took that, in his opinion, ought to have been declared a knockdown. He asserted, the knockdown gives me a UD, which stands for unanimous decision. I did take care of that in the ring," he added. "With this bias, you guys are going to make me get on you. I'm receiving a clear knockdown that they stole from me, therefore I'm not suing anyone. He has a point. Tank received a score of 10-8 from one judge, but if Roach knocks him down in that round, it's a 3-point swing, enough to tip the scales. Although he would accept either, Roach is correct that there would be a unanimous decision rather than a split. Tank didn't look bad, thus the battle wasn't about him being revealed as some exaggerated scam. It all came down to Roach coming up with the ideal strategy, the kind of patience and expertise that caused Tank serious trouble. Tank received a lot of flack for taking a knee during the 9th round in the hopes of pausing the action to wipe the oil from his eyes and take a break. He got away with it because he thought the referee would overlook it. However, Roach is deserving of the accolades since he outwitted a skilled counterpuncher by answering Tank's left hooks with his right fists, establishing traps rather than falling into them. Roach's chin remained intact as well. After Tank caught him clean a few of times, most men don't remain upright. Later, Roach remarked, "I felt I should have won without that being called a knockdown. I was making more power shots and more shots overall. I was taking charge." He believed he had done enough and didn't need the referee's call. Tank was the overwhelming favorite prior to the bout, which some referred to as a mismatch. Though no one foresaw that Roach would almost end Tank's undefeated record, more astute boxing minds recognized him as a live underdog. Stars like Tank can learn from that draw. Don't take the marking time battles lightly since they could come back to haunt you. But he could quickly undo the harm. It will all be forgotten once you sign the rematch with Roach and win big. He first hinted at a larger fight at the post-fight press conference, possibly against Shakur Stevenson, according to certain conjectures. However, it has lost some of its luster if that is the plan. With Tank fresh off a draw that most believe he should have lost, a bout between Tank and Shakur, touted as the contest to determine America's best young boxer, doesn't have the same impact. To maintain the excitement for those future mega-fights, he needs Roach too to be dominant first. I've been traveling on my own in the meanwhile. Tank and I have a long history together, dating back to Floyd Mayweather's camp. He just rescued me from a horrible place. He contacted me out of the blue while I was struggling after a lengthy layoff and binge drinking. He said, "Come camp with me." Since then, I haven't turned around. I owe him because he has been pushing me every day. I told him, "Let's laugh together on an island at the end and get what a guy deserves out of this boxing stuff." I tried to be there for him, and he saved me. I was in camp with him when he faced Frank Martin, and he dominated, a knockout in the 8th round that made everyone realize how unique he is. Blair Cobbs embarrassed me the week before, but Tank's victory demonstrated the strength of that camp. Speaking of me, his coach claimed to have caught glimpses of the former AB, the one who used to illuminate TV screens. He remarked, "I'm seeing a glimpse of what I used to watch." But in this game, having too much confidence can get you killed. Tank instilled discipline in me, and I arrived prepared to work. But our roles are now reversed. I used to be the older brother, teaching him the ropes. He is now in charge, repaying me for all the times I stood by him. Simply put, it's respect. I must battle my own demons, though. Because Coach Mike Stafford is so important to me, I made a self-promise to win another world championship before I hang up my gloves. I'm 34 years old and not the young champion I was when I first became well-known thanks to premier boxing champions. My last significant victory was a split decision over Adrien Granados in 2017, and I have only fought twice in the last 5 years. As with everyone, boxing has finally sucked me up, spit me out, and moved on. I've had my share of problems, including women, gambling, booze, and arrests. I once took a break to concentrate on my mental health, wrote an apologetic letter to my pals that went viral online, and then I returned. Fighting oneself in front of the world is not easy. With that rematch against Roach, Tank has his own comeback to make. The majority of boxers concur that Roach was defrauded, and the New York State Athletic Commission will not reverse the draw. Although Tank remains the star who is destined to become the next Floyd, he is dealing with concerns that he has never experienced before. It's quieter for me. I've stopped talking about retirement and major goals for my work. If the proper fight comes up, I would like to win that 140-pound belt, possibly 147 or even 154. However, the spotlight has waned, and I doubt it will come over me once more. Tank has a clearer goal: defeat Roach, take back his title, and maintain the boxing world's interest. We urge each other to finish because we are brothers bound by this cruel sport. When it's all said and done, whether it's him in the ring or me on the sidelines, we're all in it together, trying to grab one final laugh on an island somewhere.